Balor or other rivalries on Raw, I don't know where they're really kind of going with this. I think you really kind of need to. You kind of got to book him in a Brock Lesnar-esque fashion. I mean, the only thing is he's got the availability to be there and desire to be there every week. You could turn this guy into an extension of Brock Lesnar for years. Long after Brock's gone, you'll still have the life of Lashley on there. If you really accentuate his MMA, accentuate his viciousness, and try to get, the most out of him, I can't underscore the fact that facial expressions are huge. Like, if you could really show that this guy is unhinged, and you can have this hype man, like Leo Rush would be his Paul Heyman, whatever. I mean, it can work. You just got to you got to highlight this guy's strengths and hide his weaknesses. And there are weaknesses, like I'm saying, but he has every tool outside of those things I mentioned to succeed. It's just you have to put him in the situations to succeed, and I just feel like maybe it would have been best to leave him off of this tournament. I know they needed a replacement for Cena, yes, but I would have booked this differently. I would have had Lashley against Kurt Angle, to be honest with you, and we'll get to Kurt Angle like you're saying next. And I just would have battled them both to a draw. I felt like that would have been a better match to see. You wouldn't have hurt either Lashley or Angle like they did, both of the guys. And then you could have did the same thing you did with Ziggler and Rollins that they did in the second round, and then give Ziggler a bye, and then he would have been in the same spot.
Yeah, I agree. Lashley, it just feels like WWE does not know how to book this guy. No. Moving on, the next round. So Seth wins. He hits the bomb. Moves on to the finals.
I like the blackout name. I know they probably don't want to use that just real quick because of Aleister Black, but I liked when they were the blackout briefully.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that was a nice. It was old. Where I read it or watched an interview with him. He said he wanted to call it Hello Darkness.
Yeah, I think the blackout is a better name.
Yeah, but I mean, I see with the Aleister Black, but definitely, I'm glad they brought it back. Definitely a better finisher.
Oh, absolutely. So the next match for the Raw opening match is Ziggler versus Kurt Angle. Now I got to tell you, I love Kurt Angle, and I was so excited to see this match. Ziggler, always a top performer.
Yes.
Seeing Angle back in there, this match was rock solid. Both of them went back to they opened the match with their collegiate wrestling backgrounds, going hold for hold. Kurt Angle, obviously much older, much slower. Ziggler did a really good job keeping up with Angle's pace. This match was all around just awesome, in my opinion. And to my memory, I don't think we saw any interference. So Ziggler got the clean victory over Kurt Angle, moves into the semifinal round of the tournament. All in all, this was hands down my favorite match of the evening.
I didn't like the finish just because of, I enjoyed the match. I agree. I just feel like you build up Kurt Angle all these weeks on Raw, and then you bring him in, and then you book him like an old man. And I know he is older man. The thing is, Kurt Angle is not far removed from those five-star classics he was having on Impact Wrestling. If you book him sparingly in an Undertaker-like role, Kurt Angle will look like $1 million every time, instead of booking him and reminding us that he's not the same as he used to be, this or that. Kurt Angle will always be the wrestling gold medalist machine, and being a huge fan of him as well. I feel like this did nothing for me to anticipate how they're going to book Kurt Angle moving forward. I think, if you're going to have him and Lashley lose clean, I would have rather them not even be in a tournament. Pit them against each other, go to a draw, and then have Dolph as the heel. Get past Seth Rollins and do the same thing. I mean, it was great to see Dolph versus Kurt. I don't want to see Kurt Angle consistently losing, and putting people over, at least in a sense of without the time to properly tell, a great story on like a WrestleMania stage or whatever. I just felt like, booking wise, it baffled me how they were building this up like Kurt's triumphant return to an active wrestler almost, and then they go ahead and then they just oust him like he's an old man in the first round.
Yeah, and don't you think he's an Olympic wrestler? And dude, he's in good shape. And him compared to Dolph Ziggler, it's like, again, it goes down the whole world of, let's be realistic. This dude's a brick shithouse, and he's got an Olympic wrestling style experience. And like you said, if they portray him as like he's some kind of old man, dude, he's in great shape for his age, and he's still the machine, man. He's still got the wrestling style, and I don't. They gotta. It's almost like they're trying to squeeze him out. He's going to be another. He's going to go into a role where he's just going to be a GM or something only, and it's just like they're pushing him out, and they're trying to put these other guys over with him, but. I don't really I don't like the match at all, to be honest with you, because I think it's unrealistic. So that's my opinion.
I'll let Red
honestly, this whole view, I think that's the theme, is poor booking. I mean, that's how I entire show. The booking was weird. It wasn't very good. So I think we can all kind of agree to that. So
he just lost too easily. After it was just overhype. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. Like, the match was solid. Obviously, any Kurt Angle matches, for me, even personally biased, I'm going to be entertained because that's just what he does. But I just feel like, why? Like, you hyped him to the moon. Like he was going to be returning. This is Return to Glory, and then you just pull the carpet right out from under him. Like, it reminds me, maybe you guys will agree, of when they brought the Dudleys back for that year. Like, we all want to see that last reign. You want to do that. It's like, yeah, I know they have to put other people over. I get that. It's wrestling. If you understand wrestling, or, if you're participating in, the business, you understand that's what you do, especially in your twilight of your career. But the fans want to see what they want to see, and if you still don't want to do it just because that's not how we do it, or whatever like that, the fans want to see Kurt Angle succeed. They want to see him win. They want to see him as Kurt Angle. Well, don't book him where he's going to look exposed and stuff. Book him like the attraction he is. And whether Vince or whoever doesn't see him as an Undertaker attraction, in the minds of wrestling fans, Kurt Angle is a Undertaker attraction that you should be using sparingly, and you should be using to the utmost potential. And I just feel like this is another Dudley Boys thing, and it's disappointing to see, because I think Kurt Angle, you could get a lot more mileage out of Kurt Angle matches if you book him as an attraction.
Oh, I agree 100%. Absolutely. Kurt's the man, always has been. I will agree with you. I feel like he did lose a little too easily. I wish he would have kicked out of at least one finish. So moving on to the next match, we had The Bar with the Big Show versus the New Day. Did you feel the New Day coming out on the magic carpet was controversial at all?
Yeah, I thought about that a little bit. It's New Day. I think anybody else, I think it would be ridiculous. It's like the fact that I think maybe they probably shouldn't have done that, given the circumstances of just, hey, let's not even rock the boat with anything. I think it's awesome. I've seen The Bar.
I think it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
they should have came out with like little Swami helmets on too, and like a little genie lamp or something. That would have been funny.
And at the end, they behead the New Day.
Yeah. So the Bar retains the tag team titles. The match was okay.
Done to death. Ends up, just that match has been done to death on both Raw and SmackDown. It's just like, move on.
I agree.
Make it a 6-man. Add Big Show with there and there. Do some. Why is Big Show there? You bring the guy thousands of miles overseas. Make the guy travel or something. At least should have made it a 6-man.
Just to hit a punch, and that's the end of it. Yeah. Okay. So next, we're up in the semifinals. It's The Miz versus Rey Mysterio in the semifinals. The only note that I really had was the starting exchange was pretty good. Overall, this match kind of felt rushed. Little back and forth towards the end. Miz ends up going over.
Yeah. It's good to see. If your goal is to build up Miz, they're doing a good job there. That's kind of what I took away from the match. Like, oh yeah, okay, I could see if their job is Miz at main event level again at the end of this tournament. Okay, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. I've been reading. Go ahead.
That seems like an exciting match, though. I bet there was a lot of high maneuvers in that match, right? They did a lot of high spots on that. Probably high risk.
wasn't as good as his match with Jeff Hardy, so I think the potential was there. It's just like Rock said, it was too quick to really make any much more of a assessment of it. Just the match was too short for me to really feel like this showcased either one of them well, other than got the Miz over to where he needed to be, and again they're continuing a rivalry with them. Given the Miz and Ray really haven't worked the program, I think, together, but I think this match was too short to really determine, for me at least, that it was a good, good match,
Agreed. Yeah, it just felt rushed. They didn't really have time to hit a lot of those spots. Next, we got Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler in the Seth versus Ziggler. Honestly, these two tear the house down every single time they go out there. Yeah. But at this point in time, once again, going with the theme of this pay-per-view, this feud feels really tired. These guys have fought pretty much all year long.
Yeah.
I'm kind of tired of watching them wrestle each other.
Yeah, and that's sad when you can, like you said, you forget how great those two guys are. But when you get tired of watching good wrestling and good wrestlers face each other, then it's time to move on from these That's another thing, like we were saying, the whole theme of this. The matchups were poorly put together. Nobody wants to see these guys go at it again. Give us something new, and instead they were, it's like they were saving stuff in their back pocket and just said, well, we'll just give you another Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler, and that has main event potential all over it. It's just, how many times are you going to do this now in this past year?
Yeah, exactly. Ziggler gets the win with outside interference from Drew McIntyre. Ziggler moves on to the finals, so we got Ziggler versus Miz in the finals. But before that, we got AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. Same theme to me. I mean, I love these two. These two have tore the house down anywhere they go. This is a WrestleMania quality main event, but they have done it 4 times in a row. Yeah. And Joe, once again, he was a fill-in. This was supposed to be the big AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan WWE title match that everybody wants to see. But once again, with the theme of the show, Daniel Bryan, he's not going to come to the show, so now we have to have a filler. Let's throw Joe back in for the 4th time. What makes me sad about this feud is Joe is, how do you keep him credible after losing 4 straight times in a row? And it's not just cheat to win or draws like they did with the Shinsuke Nakamura feud. He's just losing 4 times in a row. Well, and it just makes it really hard to keep him believable.
Yeah, Rock, they did do the tease where he had him tapping before.
Well, yeah.
And I think remember that one helped him, I think. But, you're right. I think I had a lot more interest in this one just for the nature. Maybe it was the title, or maybe it's just because AJ Styles is that much more next level than even some of the best guys out there right now. He's just on an incredible year-long, streak of just, holding this WWE Championship. But I feel like you got to separate the two if you're not going to do anything to help Joe from here. I mean, he's looked strong and he looks great, and I love watching the two wrestle, especially as a long time, fan of them going back to Impact Wrestling days. I just feel like, that was the fill-in nature did nothing to help Joe other than, he had another great match with AJ. It's just, I just feel like if he's not going to win the title, which clearly he's not at this point, you got to get Joe in a different program that's going to help the guy. But again, he's not the prototypical Vince McMahon body type and character. I just feel like he to me, I think, should have been given or allowed the opportunity, I should say, maybe better phrase, that Kevin Owens got when Kevin Owens was brought to the main roster. And I like Kevin Owens. I feel like Joe has the chops that he would succeed just as Owens did, if not more so. And I feel like we may never get that.
I agree. I mean, we can talk all night about Samoa Joe and how he could be a huge player in the WWE. Once again, this poorly booked.
Yeah. It was a great match. It's one of my favorite matches.
Oh, yeah, the match was fantastic.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, that flying forearm that he did without even clearing the ring, I mean, and you'd have to watch this, Jester, and see this. He did a flying forearm where he basically went straight up,